Costa Rica, as its name suggests, is truly a country of great riches. For a land the size of Yorkshire, Costa Rica is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world. Nestled in the center of Latin America, with Nicaragua to the north and Panama to the south, its western shores are shaped by the Pacific Ocean. To the east, the tropical Caribbean Sea, hurricanes apart, laps the dark sands of this volcanic paradise. Costa Rica is a land of many microclimates, always under a tropical sun, ranging from cool and European-like temperate areas, high in the volcanic mountains, to several types of rainforest, including dry tropical forests and mangrove swamps. 3.5 million people live here, most of them in and around San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. But this land of plenty is also home to more than 600 species of birds, 200 species of mammals, 160 species of amphibians, 220 species of reptiles, over half of which are snakes, and at least 35,000 classified species of insects. Not forgetting its overwhelming variety of flora. Just imagine over 1,000 different orchids and about 2,000 species of trees. The list is endless. As keen bird watchers, we decided to visit Corcovado National Park, which takes up most of the Osa Peninsula, also known as the Second Amazon. It is situated in one of the most remote parts along the Pacific coast, and home to Costa Rica's largest remaining populations of scarlet macaws, the birds we came here to film. Corcovado National Park receives several meters of rainfall every year, making this lowland forest prone to landslides, sometimes taking gigantic ancient trees right down to the beach. Pristine beaches fringed by virgin rainforest stretch on for miles and miles. Brown pelicans are frequent visitors to these shores. Unusually for birds, the adults are thought to be largely silent. And although somewhat ungainly looking on land, they are excellent flyers, gliding effortlessly over the waves, to then plunge into the sea, scooping up fish, their main diet. Just a mile from Karate, our path is barred by a fast-flowing river. It swells a lagoon further inland, where it joins water from the sea during high tide. It's an important watershed for wading birds and the reclusive caiman, taking refuge from the heat of the sun in the thick reeds along its shores. Among the visitors of these wetlands is the rosette spoonbill, a gregarious bird that patiently sieves through the shallow water, spooning up a feast of shrimps, frogs, snails, and crustaceans. Like flamingos, they too gain their glorious pink color from the pigments of their prey. During low tide, the waters of the lagoon drain back to the sea. A truly spectacular sight. And if you stop here for a while and watch the sea, you might even get lucky and see a whale cruising by. The bloom of a banana palm, a favorite hunting ground of squirrel monkeys, the smallest of 4 species of primates found in Costa Rica, and also the friendliest. Where his fellow brethren are often intent on bombarding you with twigs, fruit, or even their own excrement, these tiny creatures go about their monkey business, stealing bananas from gardens and plantations along the coastline. This chestnut-mandibled toucan, with its enormous hollow bill, is primarily a fruit eater, preferring the darkest, ripest fruit. He is the largest of 6 species found in Costa Rica. Another fruit eater is the howler monkey, the biggest of 4 primates. He is known for his blood-curdling roar. And believe you me, the first time you hear it, you're almost certain to think there's something big out there they haven't discovered yet. A fiery-billed aracari, one of the smaller toucans, takes a bath in the fork of a tree. After all, you've got to look your best for the ladies. You never know what to expect. Here, a centipede that sprays cyanide if you get too close. In the rainforest, you're never far from a waterfall, a refreshing break from the smothering heat. But be on your guard, because flash floods are not uncommon. A whiptail lizard hunting at the water's edge. Whatever you do, take a map, compass, and a torch with you, or you could get terribly lost, like we did. But there's always someone watching you, in this case a rather curious spider monkey baby. This one hasn't learned to throw things yet, but then, it's early days. The long-nosed coati, the most actively diurnal member of the raccoon family, found throughout the country. He's a good all-rounder, just as comfortable eating fruit in the trees as he is foraging for insects and small animals on the ground. Incidentally, lone males are also called coati mundis. Trees on the Osa Peninsula can reach heights of up to 80 meters. In the ongoing fight for light, these majestic giants have developed elaborate root structures to cope with very thin topsoil. Here, so-called plank buttresses. Leaf-cutter ants making their way back to their nest, where they will chew up their cargo to form a compost, on which they cultivate a nutritional bread-like fungus. The fungus develops tiny white fruiting bodies that provides the ants with food. A definite nightmare for any arachnophobic, but they look scarier than they are. And although these cicadas might not look like something you'd want to get close to either, they make a juicy and welcome snack for the aura pendula. A curious bird known for its colonial sack-like nests hanging from trees. Hence its name, oro, referring to its golden tail feathers, and pendula, meaning hanging. There are many colourful blooms in the tropics, whose nectar provide food for insects and birds. There is the hummingbird, which incidentally drinks the nectar in order to have enough energy to catch insects, its main diet. Of course, flowers also attract butterflies, and Costa Rica has more than 200 species. If you keep your eyes open, you might come across the most curious plant, the mimosa. When touched, the plant will shrivel and pretend to die, in the hope of not being eaten for another day. A heliconia, one of around 30 species found in Costa Rica. Like the spider monkey, the white-faced capuchin monkey can be rather aggressive, but you just have to stand your ground and they'll soon get bored of you. The beaches along Karate's coast are lined with almond trees, its fruit a favorite of scarlet macaws. To see these magnificent birds in the wild is surely a sight you'll never forget. You can usually hear their raucous calls from far away. Scarlet macaws mate for life and can live for many decades. They are highly sociable birds, living in groups of up to 50 individuals. Their main diet consists of nuts, which they can crack open effortlessly with their powerful beaks. Macaws are said to have the intelligence of a 2-year-old child, which is partly the reason their numbers have been drastically reduced by poaching for the pet trade. Continuing habitat loss is another reason these beautiful birds might one day be gone forever. It's getting late. Everybody's going home. Our time here is coming to an end. Tomorrow, it's off back home. One final look while we wait for the plane. Our dream to film the scarlet macaws in the wild has finally come true. And we will surely be back one day.